July 1st, and so I thought it would be a great day to start something new. And I've been thinking for a while about doing a daily challenge of some sort for myself. It's going to be a daily photo challenge. What I thought I would do is look for something that I can take a photo of that just makes me happy or grateful. I'm coming out here to our garden, and I've planted some flowers that have just recently bloomed. They're so pretty. The background isn't pretty because we have this like gardening fabric on the ground, but they're great because they attract bees, and so they're good for the rest of the garden where we have food growing. But I just thought I would take like a little macro photo of that. So I have my camera and my macro lens, and I'm gonna do that, but I didn't really think in advance about like whether I would include that in the video or not. So I'm gonna give one thing a try and see if I can like rest my camera on this little strawberry situation. And if that doesn't work, maybe I'll see if I can change the thumbnail later and just show you what the photo looked like that way. I don't know, something I've thought about before is making videos where I'm doing photography, but then how do I do that without a cameraman? Because obviously I can't videotape myself and take photos unless I'm carrying around a tripod. Anyway, so let me see if this will work, and if not, then we'll just call this a first time practice live, and I'll see if I can change the thumbnail to show you the photo and figure out another way to do this in the future. Maybe I will need to just have like some sort of tripod with me. Is this gonna work? You're gonna be looking right at the strawberries in your way. Let me see if I can move them. It's probably just gonna fall. Yep. Okay, maybe I'll try one. Here, let me try this bucket. And so this is what I'm working with now. Bucket, and maybe I will just put this rock on top, and that will be my tripod. See how much you can see if I do that. See, can you see the flowers? Okay. Let's see if I can get a photo of these flowers. Let me see if I can show you what I have. So I will try editing that in Photoshop to look a little nicer, and obviously you won't have to deal with the glare. And I'll see if I can make the thumbnail this photo. For today, I have come a little bit more prepared. I have a tripod and I have a microphone. When I get further away from the camera, you'll still be able to see me, and that, hear me, and that will be a good thing. I also learned that the chat in a live on mobile, if you do leave comments, they'll just pop up on my screen, but only if I'm using the camera that faces me. If I use the outside camera, it won't work. Hi Judith, thanks for joining me. That's exciting to actually see a comment right when I was just talking about it. So when I flip my screen, I'm gonna try flipping my screen when I take the photo because I think the video might be better quality. So this is a very experimental live today, but hopefully some improvement from yesterday. Hopefully the microphone works when I'm far away from my, and hopefully the tripod is helpful. So I'm just expanding my tripod as I speak to you. And there's really nowhere, well, first of all, let me show you something. This is what I'm planning to take a photo of today. I noticed these the other day, these flowers, these little purple, I don't know what they are, but they seem to be wild. They're just in this area where a whole bunch of wild stuff grows on the edge of the field. We have some wild raspberries here that are mostly not ready, but check that out. We've got one. And then next to the raspberries, we have these, whatever they are. They look like little firecrackers. Very appropriate for Canada Day yesterday, and for if you're in the US, 4th of July is coming. So I'm gonna try taking a photo of these for today. But first, I need to set up this tripod. So maybe in the future, I'll set it up before I do my live because I have nowhere to put you, and I don't want to just point you at the grass. So hold on, set you right here. And you're probably gonna tip over anyway because of the thing I'm using for my, there we go, that works. Okay, so it extends, and then I wonder, Tracy, if you end up watching this, you left a comment about how you have a tripod. I wonder if yours is like this. As I was reading your comment, I was thinking, I also have a tripod like that. I just need to actually bring it with me. Okay, so headed back over to these flowers, and I'm going to figure out, let's see, I'll face you this way. We'll try that. And then I'll talk you through what I'm doing. Oh, Judith, you have a similar tripod. So hopefully this mic is working, and when I walk away from you, you'll still be able to hear. But I was noticing, oh my gosh, there are some cool bugs here. Before I take a photo of the flowers, let me just get my hair back so it's not in the picture, but there's some cool shiny bug just sitting there. If he stays still and chill, oh, let me see if there's any chance I can get this. This is kind of crazy. Oh, please. This is not, okay. It's actually not one bug. It was close to this time, I'm guessing. Oh man, let's see. If you were, Judith, did you hang around? You're a trooper. I don't know how long you were flipped over. This is the cool bug. Let's see if I can show you with my phone camera. I see your comment. LOL, beautiful sun. I wonder how long you've been looking at that. And sadly, something else occurred when my phone tipped over, and that is the little attachment for my microphone that's attached to my phone broke off of the part that attaches to the phone. So that could be the end of the microphone for a while until I get that sorted out. So that was a bit of a fail of a live if you were looking at the sun the whole time. And my guess is you couldn't hear anything either because the microphone broke. So that's sad. Oh well, just all has to be experimental, and I will learn from this for next time. Well, kind of a bummer of a day 2 live attempt, but there might be some cool photos from it, and we'll just keep learning and trying to get better each day. Not gonna give up yet. Thanks for joining me, Judith. We're making a couple of changes after yesterday's eventful live. So I have a different tripod today. I'm using this guy. He's a tripod that I tend to use with my big camera, but instead of putting this guy on there, I've attached this phone tripod piece. So you will be watching from here because I think this tripod can handle the situation a little better. And the microphone that broke yesterday when the tripod fell, I ordered the missing piece and it arrived today. So we're back in business with audio today, which is great. So now I'm just going to set up this tripod and try and aim it where I think I'll be working. And my plan for today is to shoot the flowers that I was going to shoot yesterday, but got distracted by the beetles. So let's get this pointed in the right direction. Okay, so these round purple flowers, which you will hopefully have already seen in the thumbnail, I realized this is the milkweed plant. So these are milkweed flowers. And my plan, I waited for this point in the day because it was supposed to be cloudy. And when I started this live, it was cloudier right here than it is now. Maybe it will pass, we'll see. So my goal was to shoot the flowers from below. That's why it was important to me for it to not be sunny, because I don't want too much sun as my background. The reason I'm shooting from underneath is these flowers are it's like a whole bunch of flowers creating a little sphere shape, but they tend to seem to be a little bit weighted down. So the fullest, coolest looking part of the flower is kind of down here instead of up here. So shooting down doesn't work so well. to get that effect. So let's give this a try and see. I'm gonna have to, I always have to start by figuring out my settings because I'm shooting this in manual. So I'm using a setting on my camera, and if anyone's interested, I can share more about it perhaps in a future video. So let me know if you are interested, and otherwise I'll just leave it. But I use a setting that lets me see when things are in focus a little bit better than just trying to see it based on them through the viewfinder. It lets me choose a color, and unfortunately I have it set on red right now, which is a little hard to see against these flowers. So it will show me the part of the flower that's in focus by making it look a little bit red in that spot. Unfortunately, I'm definitely not getting the lighting I was hoping for right now. The sun is right there and it's not blocked by any clouds. So I will experiment a little more with some different angles, but it's not the best. And something's trying to bite my arms. So hopefully I have one here that I can use for the thumbnail, even though they might not be quite what I was going for. I'm gonna flip my camera so you can see me. Day 4 of the daily live photo challenge for July. It's very sunny out, so my plan is to take a photo in the shade. My tripod with me and trying something a little different again today, because if you'll notice, I do not have my microphone with me. I don't want to talk about why. It's my own fault. And you know what I just noticed? It's broken again. Flipping this around. It is day 5 of the July daily live photo challenge. And unfortunately, yet again, I'm without a mic. I'm working on it. Part is coming tomorrow. Hopefully the wind will... Okay, hold on, there's a deer. Two deer, one's a baby. Oh, they're so far away. Can you see them right by the stick? Come on. Oh, too bad I don't have something better quality. And of course, I just have my macro lens, so that's not going to help me for a distance, but hopefully you could kind of tell they were there and see them a little bit. That was a fun spotting. I haven't seen a baby that close in a long time. I don't remember what I was saying. Yeah, so I don't have a microphone again this time. But we saw deer, so that's cool. I hope you could kind of see them. I think I had a better view than you did through my phone. Hopefully, I think I was saying I hope the wind isn't too strong, because if the wind's not too strong, you might still be able to hear me. Anyway, we have a little bit of lavender growing on the side of our garden, so I'm going to see if I can get a photo of that today. So I'm going to flip you around. You might not be able to hear me yet again, but we'll give it a try. It's not the most attractive thing right here, but in a macro photo, I think we can capture its beauty, so let's give it a shot. I think I'm pretty happy with what we've got here. I'll see if I can show it to you. At least here's one shot. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but we have some in focus in the forefront. Round. There's another one. It's not the best, but I mean, it's not the best for you to try and see it on the back of my camera there, but all right, I think that was successful, and I'll be back tomorrow. One note is that next week There are 3 days that we may not have Wi-Fi or data, but if I don't show up 3 days next week, that is why. It doesn't mean I've given up on the challenge. Today's a little different because I went outside and I took a photo with a microphone, did my live, came inside and realized that I did the live on a different YouTube channel instead of this one. So I could just bring you inside and bring you along for the editing process. Like, I can tell that you can see my screen, but I don't know, like, it's not super clear because I can see that it looks really bright to you right here and like brighter than it really is. Ooh, that made it worse. Looks better that way. Yeah, I think I might need to figure out how to like do a screen share live. I know you can do that, but I guess maybe it's better for me to edit at an angle for you. Well, we'll see how it goes today. So first of all, I've loaded the photos and I've brought them up in Lightroom, and I'm just gonna take a look at them and choose which ones I think are worth editing. I like this one because this part is in focus, the rest is blurry, although I don't really love the placement of the part that's in focus. This one, this part is nicely in focus. You may not be able to tell, and the rest is not. Same here, we've got, I would rather have all 3 in focus. Okay, for this one, we have this clover here is really nicely in focus. So that one might look cool with a little bit of tweaking. So I'm gonna flag that as a pick. Now, this is where I moved from clover over to a different plant that looks a little bit like clover, but I don't think it is clover, something else. I don't love this shot, but I liked how the plant is kind of going across the photo like this, but I didn't like how it disappeared off the edge. So I believe in the next photo, yeah, I had it so that it was going across, but you could see the end. Now, let's take a look. I took a few shots like this. Okay, this one's better focused than the one before. Okay, I think that's the best focus out of those 3. And then, yeah, so the challenge I was having here is when I would get, let me go back a photo, when I would get this part of the plant in focus, the little flower would be blurry. And then I took another photo where I was purposely getting the flower in focus, and you can, well, maybe you can't see. Can't see super well, but that is, the flower is more in focus, but then there's so much out of focus that I don't like the full effect of it. So what I'd be interested to try doing is editing them both. The lighting is similar between the 2. If I edit them both the same way and then bring them both into Photoshop, maybe I can take the in focus flower from one photo and put it on the other photo, where like blend them together so that I have the flower from one photo in focus and the leaves from the other. So I think I might end up trying that. You can see here, if you know anything about the rule of thirds, you can see the guides here. And I like that this is like kind of the part that I want to be in focus and hopefully to draw your eye to is in this area up here. When I crop it for a thumbnail, it'll be a little bit narrower this way, so I can adjust that. So I think I'm just gonna leave it cropped as it is. All right, so I'm gonna leave it at that for now, and I'm gonna export these 2 photos. Now we're gonna do a little bit of masking. Let's see what happens when we move this photo on top of the other, if we can line them up. So I'm going to let me know what you thought of watching the editing process. I just wanted to experiment, so do you have any thoughts? Let me know what you think. Hello, I think I am streaming. Oh, Welcome to day 7 into Lightroom. I took a bunch of different photos today because it was very windy and I was having a challenge getting a subject that wasn't moving around like crazy. So let's take a look. I'm just gonna go through these photos and see which ones I want to focus on. Look, I have some baby tomatoes in my garden. This is exciting. I may come back to this subject to see if I can get a nicer lighting situation. This is when I was really frustrated, you guys. This is a rock in my garden and I was fed up with everything moving, so I thought I would take a picture of something that would not blow in the wind. Okay. Oh, is that a little worm or is that part of the flower on there? I don't know what that is. It might be worth coming back to. Again, something that wouldn't blow around. I started eating raspberries while I was sitting waiting for those flowers to stop moving. Okay, and then a little bee, but he's not fully in focus. And then that darn flower started blowing around like crazy. Oh, this one is still not quite in focus, but not terrible. It's kind of cool. I don't like his position in that other one. Okay, I might just look at this one later. We had another bug situation here. It's more of a silhouette. Kind of cool though. Not the most amazing. Then I went beside the shed. Oh, not yet. Yeah. Then I went behind the shed because I was looking for less wind, and I wanted to see if I could get any cool effects with this little spiderweb situation. Come back to that one. And these leaves growing on the forest floor look kind of cool and not moving because there's no wind getting through. It's okay. I kind of like this. I don't know if I love it. This thing was cool, but the lighting on it wasn't great, so I probably won't bother with that one. Now these ones, I think these ones have potential. I would like to play with this one because I think we've got good focus and we just need to play with the lighting. That's my thought on that. Okay. So out of the 28 photos, I've limited it down to 8 potentials. And out of those, I kind of like this one. I might play with this a little more, but I think where I want to focus is the last photo. So what I'm going to do is first of all play with the lighting because this was underexposed. So I'm going to up the exposure for now. Still want the contrast of the darker background, so we'll see where we go with that. I want to try taking out some of this haze. Yes, I like that better. See the before and after here. I like that. Do we want to mess with clarity? Maybe a smidge. And the texture actually might be kind of cool with this one. How are we looking here? Yeah, I think it's a little bit more, bringing a little bit more out. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted Vignetting. Let me see what would happen if I add a vignette on the edge. Do I like that or do I not like that? I don't think I need it. Okay, and now, oh, I like that a little more. So here's what we've got, a comparison between, excuse me, the straight out of camera and edited in Lightroom. I think I like it. Do I want it to be a little brighter or not? I like the contrast of the, let's see if I increase the blacks, what that would do. Just a smidge. Yes, I'm liking this now. Okay, well, I think I'm gonna stop there for Lightroom.